You just clip it like.
I know what it's clipped on.
Okay.
But isn't this gonna be like too close to I guess I don't know what it's
Life comes at you fast.
There you go.
Let's start off by first seeing the dad finally in the show. Oh my God, it's you!
Yes.
How did that get put together? You know?
That was, it's funny because I was like, well, make the mom and the dad just look like, because we decided it was going to be an American dad and a Venezuelan mom, and because my wife, her mom is Venezuelan, and we felt like, oh, let's just lean into that multiculturalism, and because I think it gives our lives a little bit of flavor, and we felt like we can flavor the show that way. And once I did that, I was like, well, I should just draw it to look like us, and I won't have to think about, like a new character design. And then, like, the dog that the family has is our dog.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like exactly like I did. Like I drew a lot from life in this. Fred is a friend of mine's daughter. Like when she was 12, I had this picture of her that just had so much attitude to it. I was like, I'm just gonna make it look like Winnie. So it's been fun.
I'd love to hear from both of you what it's like collaborating on a creative project with family members.
It's easy. It's like, well, not for you. Kind of for me, because I can just like be on the couch watching TV and like in a blanket, in a sleeping bag even, and just waddle on over to my dad's office and just record. Because we do all of our recordings from home now because it's less stressful, and it's really chill. It just doesn't feel like work anymore. It just feels like having fun with my dad.
How did you get, I just want to go off that a little bit. How did you actually get started? Was it because you see you guys on TikTok all the time, it was just natural progression you saw what your dad was doing and was like, I want to be part of that? Or how did that come to be? Because now you're the star of this show.
I went to work with my dad a few times. I don't remember why, but there's like some 2-week period where I went with you every day.
Yeah, she was there for a while. One of the other.
I wanted to tell you.
Oh, go ahead. I'll just be back here.
Some of his friends were making their own shows while he was working on his last show, and so they like would need someone to do templates for them so that they could make an animatic to show to the executives. So I was there and I was young, so I could play young characters, boys and girls, because my voice is, I guess, kind of deep. And so I did temp lines for this one little kid. I forgot his name, but he was pretty similar to the character I play now because he was very high energy, very loud. I love being loud. That was so much fun to record, just like screaming all the time. And that got me really excited, so I auditioned for that character, and then I did a few, like 2 or 3 other auditions, and none of those shows got picked up though, sadly. And then I even did temp lines like from home during quarantine for some of my dad's friends. And so I ended up doing temp lines for him when he started making Hamster Gretel. And I just stuck with it, and I did like an official audition basically, and got the part. Like I just stayed from the very beginning.
Yeah, it was originally just like me doing all the male parts and her and her sister doing all the female parts. And then we needed a pilot that we could test, and we wanted to, so we got some people in, and we sort of recast all the roles except her because she sounded right for it, and we were all like, we'll just test it like this and see how it goes. And then that character tested like really, really high, and we were like, oh, maybe it's not broken. And like by then, like I think the executives have sort of gotten, gotten in love with her voice as the character, and she just made it through all the iterations. And I remember at one point they said, let's just go with Meli. And I was like, okay, she'll be happy. I don't know. I don't want to have to try to refigure this character because the character's sort of based in some ways on her anyway. Just like so. And she's got my sense of humor, so.
That seems questionable.
Yeah.
Dan, you have a very legendary resume and continue to just reinvent yourself in these projects. What's sort of the think tank for you to be so creative?
You know, it's really the only thing I do. It's the only thing I do well is be creative. It's like you know, people say like how do you because I've been nominated for Emmys in like 5 different categories that I'm doing all the time. So I'm always. But I always say like it's the one thing I do. If I was unemployed, I would be telling stupid stories and writing stupid songs and talking in silly voices and drawing silly pictures. I just wouldn't be getting paid for it, and so it doesn't feel like work to me. It just feels like, oh, I get to do this and I get to do this and I get to do this.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to come with a fan question.
Okay.
So, I'm a big fan of World Showcase at Epcot, and I love that Agent P was there, and they had all the interactive stuff.
That was
so I wanted to know if Hamster Gretel got to be in the World Showcase, which pavilion would you like to do a little activity in a song or have a mystery?
Oh, you know, I think it would be like there's a Latin American pavilion right there. There's like Mexico or something like that. I think it would be there because I think that you know we've written some Latin songs for the show, and I think might fit really well there, like the Ropa Vieja that brings us together. I think that would be really fun. So let's hope.
Yeah,
let's hope.
that would be great.
You know, Agent P is leaving. I think they've shut that down now, right? They're supposedly sending me one of the Doofenshmirtz statues. They were like, hey, they sent me a picture and said, do you want this? Would you have a place to put this? And I was like, I will make a place to put that if you send it to me, absolutely. But I haven't gotten it yet, so I'm like knocking on wood. I hope like that didn't get derailed at some point.
Let's talk about some of my favorite things from the episodes. The Sibling Rivalry song,
Yes.
and then I forget the name of the villain, but the one that shoots cat from
That's my favorite.
That is the coolest concept.
Yes.
And like how the cat's got revenge on everything.
Yes, he's called Copycat, and he's a cat-themed villain, and he has a gun that shoots hairballs that stick to things and like that. And then occasionally he goes, and nothing happens.
It makes like a
and he
clock
opens
sound.
up and he pulls out a hairless cat and puts it down and grabs another cat, like cat with a lot of fur and puts it in. And then he's going for a while. He has to reload it like 3 times.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that villain. But the thing I love most about that episode is something that I feel like we would not have been allowed to do a while back that we can do now because of the success of superhero female characters like Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel and Black Widow, because it's now okay for them to be in really sort of life and death sort of situations. And there's a scene in that where he's going after her with his like, you know, claws, and she's stuck to a car, so she turns the car around and like to take the blow, and then he picks the car up and smashes her through like 3 levels of a parking garage in a very brutal way that's still funny, but it's really like when I first saw it, I was like, I hope they let us do this, because I imagine if we were doing this in the 80s, we would not have been allowed to hurt a little girl like that, because she's obviously hurting, you know, like she's indestructible, so it's not going to be permanent. But I love that we got to do that. And when I showed it to my daughters, they were like, "That is cool!" Like they weren't like afraid for her or anything. They immediately were like, "This is the coolest thing I've seen." So that makes me happy.
Thank you. Guys.
Okay, we're done.
Let's wrap this up.
Oh, you got
We got the aggressive one.
Sorry.
It wasn't that aggressive. Okay, well, what do you want me to do? Like a little...
I'll refer. We got the authoritative route.
Huh?
We got the authoritative route.
Yes.
What about a little... What do you want me to do?
Thank you guys so much.
Like,
The show's so good. I can't wait to
Thank
see
you.
it more.